Hello everyone, welcome to my shop. My name is Steve, and today I've got a project that I wasn't looking to do, but it's here, so I'm taking care of it. Last week my grandson came to visit, and I decided to take out the car behind me and take him to lunch in it. It's a 1965 Cord. It's like the 37 that I'm restoring, except that this was made in 1965, not 1937. And my dad had a lot to do with the car's manufacturing. He and another fella decided that they liked the car so much that they thought they'd try and reintroduce it back in 1965, which would have made me around 16, 17, something like that. So I remember the process and what it took to get that car into production. They managed to build over 100 of them before they had to stop production for various reasons, which we won't go into. But it was an idea, and pretty good idea, I think. And so I've got the car that this is actually the one of the prototypes when they were designing the car to go into manufacturing. This was the last prototype, number 6. They built 6 of them. I got into Road and Track and different magazines. Went to the New York Auto Show. Had a lot of publicity back then. But anyway, today I don't want to bore you with a bunch of history, but this is a car that has front-wheel drive like the original 37. You can notice the headlights they go up and down just like they did in the 37. Many of the same features that the 37 model had, this car has. The difference is this car is 8/10 the size of the original size car. This is just a 2-passenger, where my 37 could be a 5-passenger, I guess. Got a front and a back seat, maybe a 6. They're really small people. The reason for the video today is after we got done taking it to lunch and came back, and I said, let's put it up in the air and check a few things. And I discovered that one of the outer boots, this is a constant velocity joint boot kit. And it's, if any of you are familiar with these rubber boots that go around the bearings on this front end, you've got to have a pretty flexible thing on the front. Well, the original one is torn, and it's almost completely severed in two. But it's been sitting in storage for a long time. So I thought this would be a fun time to replace it. I wasn't planning on replacing or doing this work right now, but this is I hope this will fit. I started taking it apart, and I had some other people here helping and watching as I proceeded to explain how it came apart. Going on 50, 60 years of memory, a long time ago, I managed to take it apart. Now I didn't film it because there was a lot of people around, and it was kind of and it was a real messy job, and I just didn't feel like it was that I was going to be able to video it. So what I'm going to try to do is show you what was involved to take it apart, but more importantly, I suppose, how to put it back together. I think anybody can take it apart. It's sometimes it's a little trickier to put them back together sometimes. So hopefully the only parts we're going to need, I know we're going to need a couple of seals and maybe a bearing. I haven't inspected it completely, but it had a little, I felt a little roughness in one of the bearings. But I'll just kind of show you what we've removed, and then we'll just proceed from there. I don't know what I'm going to have to show you, but hopefully it's when we go back together, I'm going to try and bring you along for that, and then you'll see how the front end is assembled. The left and the right are basically the same. It's just I got one's together and the other one's apart. So let me take you over and show you what we're doing. In '65, U.S. Rubber Company, U.S. Royal, it's called the U.S. Royal Master Tire. U.S. Rubber actually made the body for the car out of a product called Expanded Royalite. And these are the original tires. They had a little red pinstripe and the white wall, which is kind of neat. So these are the original tires that were on the car. They're still good, and very few miles on it. So let me take you around to the other side and show you what it looks like when they take the tire away. Okay. All right. Now we're looking at the front suspension arm. There's an A-frame up on top, and then there's a lower A-frame down here. The part that's bad I've taken out, but it's behind here, and I'll show you that in a minute. And the shaft leads from here up through that opening into the engine compartment where it attaches to the rear end. This is the brakes over here that I just took them off the front. You can get a nice, give me more room actually to work on it. But it has one of the differences between this car, the 30, and the 37 cord is the 37 cord used leaf springs that went across in front and connected the two wheels were held up by a leaf spring suspension. Where on the 65 model, we have torsion bars that connect back in here. If I can take you loose from the tripod here, and I'll bring you in here. Hopefully you can see. The light's not real good. Let's see if I get more light in here. Okay. So if this arm right here runs back over right to there. So you got this arm right here, and then it connects to this torsion bar, and the torsion bar goes back and connects to the frame, and that's the spring suspension for the front suspension. So it has independent front suspension. Well, everybody does that. Well, they do make solid axles though. Anyway, that's how the suspension goes, and so I've got taken out the drive shaft for the car, and getting ready to put that new boot on it. So I'm going to try and bring you along on how we put the new boot on, and then putting it back together, and then you'll know how it's assembled. So let's go take a look at the bad part. We're looking at my axle shaft. This is what hooks onto the rear end, and then this is the end that holds the wheel and everything. And this is the boot that's bad. You can see how it's ripped right there. It's not, but over here it's all ripped open, so it's exposed to the elements, and that's not good. So we've got to replace this rubber boot here with a new one. So that's the job at hand, and clean this up a little bit more, and then we're going to try and remove the old boot and see if there's any internal damage. I don't think there is, because I didn't drive the car much in bad weather, so it really wasn't exposed to the elements that much. no salt or anything. I never drove it in the winter time in the snow or ice, and only got it in rain a couple of times, just because you can't avoid it sometimes. So with that being said, I'm going to take this over to the bench in a few minutes, and we'll try to remove that. So I'm going to finish cleaning this up a little bit, and then we'll take it over to the bench. Put you overhead here so you can kind of see what we're facing here. So as this turns, it's spinning around highway speed. It's got to get lubricated. So we're going to try and remove this clamp off of here, because this is worn out, and we'll have to just cut this away, get it out of the road. So what are we going to use here? I'm not sure what the easiest way is going to be to take that clamp off there. Well, I know one way to get it off, I guess. That one. Yeah, it'll be kind of warm. So much for that. Okay. All right. All right, so there's the guts of how this thing works. So we'll just have to clean this all up real good, wash it out, get all that grease out of there, reinstall it. Now the trick's going to be putting the new one on, isn't it? Okay, here's the band we cut off yesterday. In here 5 seconds, already got grease on me. Okay, well, this is how the bearing constant velocity joint works in here. And we got to get all that crud out of there so we can repack it. So I'm going to take it over to the parts washer and dig out all this clumpy stuff before I try and mess up all my cleaning solvent. This, you can see what's left of this thing. There's not much. I'll have to cut this off too. All right, I put it in the parts washer and washed off what grease I could get off with the spray, but I thought I'd bring you along and show you how this thing kind of works when it's in operation. And six balls, and then those races are ground in there. Yeah, how they put that thing together. That's a real piece of work there. Okay. Whoever designed this knew what they were doing. Okay. So now I'm going to take it and wash it off with some brake cleaner and get what I can out of there with that. And then we'll be ready to go, I think. Now comes the exciting part. There we go. I'm going to put the rubber boot on next and try Pledge. It's a lubricant. Hope this thing still works. It's a pretty old can. It looks pretty slicked up to me. Insert this back on there. Used to be a transmission funnel. Okay. Let's see if this sun gun's going to go here. It's got to go this way. So the little end's got to go first. I should have put some on the inside of this too. All right. Little side goes first. I don't know. This looks like impossible. I will get burnt to a kid here. Well, I don't think I'm supposed to go that way. It'll take more than I got, I think. Ew. I don't see that stretching. Whew. I guess it will. If I can pull it. Come on, baby. Whew. Almost there. Whoo-wee. Unbelievable. How about that? Whee. That was pretty darn awesome. Get this little inside piece here. Flip back out. There we go. There we go. All right. There we go. And that'll fit onto there. That goes there. So we can put that clamp up here. Right on there, I think we'll have it. Okay. And the only thing left is to put some grease in here, huh? Get rid of the pledge out of here. And the new part comes with appropriate amount of grease here. See what it says here. Meets or exceeds all OEM specifications. Common name, CV grease. Chemical, mineral-based grease. Caution, skin, eye irritant. Okay. Well, how about that? Made in England, guys. Up over to there. Okay. I'll call that good right there. Now, like to hold that up. Okay, this is where my audio went off for some reason. I don't know why, but I made this tool to put the straps on the bands that hold the rubber in place, and it worked, but it wasn't you know, it's like a one-time use, as well as a couple nuts on this piece of clamp that I found, and I already had the two square holes in it. I just cut it off one end and stuck it in the mill and put that little 10-degree incline on the end of it there, and it kind of follows the width of the band, which is a 1/4 inch. And you'll see here in a second how I hook it up to make it work. Took a piece of pipe and just slid it in the bandsaw and then welded a nut on the end of it to give it the twist we need to tighten it. So I'm explaining how that works there. And let's see. Okay. I'm going to slide the pipe over the band and see if I can get it in there. There we go. Okay. Now pull the strap. I get it in the right spot. Push it in. Not the easiest thing in the world to get all the pieces going together, but there we go. Set up there. And just put a wrench on it and tighten it up. Making sure I had the end of the rubber boot at the right spot. And I just gave it a little twist or two. And then once that was in place, we just kind of bend it over. There, we got it tight now, I think. Okay. And I just pushed it on over to lock it. Okay. I took my little ball peen hammer and folded those two little tabs over. And then I just remove the jig. Wasn't designed for multiple uses, but I only needed it for 2. So the pipe I used was twisted on there and it was keeping it from sliding off. So if I made another one, I'd make it out of a solid piece, and then that way it wouldn't collapse on me. Okay, so a little one done. And it's just a matter of cutting off the pigtail that's left. And then roll that piece over. it down, and that should have taken care of it. Then I wanted to, this boot's made for different applications, so I had to trim off the excess because it was too big for this particular application. So, and there we go. Just like that. Now, I said I'd try and bring you along on this reassembly of the axle shafts and so forth. I cleaned up the this housing best I could, and turn it around here a little bit. You can see it. And I've cleaned everything out, took everything apart, and I'm in the process now of putting in this bearing. It's a press fit. It went in about a half an inch before it got good and snug and didn't want to go anymore. So the rest of the way it's a press fit. So I made up a little adapter for that purpose to push it in, and it's basically just some spacers and washers and stuff like that. So that's a 3/4 inch bolt here, and this is off of an old grinder washer. So I'm going to stick this in from the back, and that should fit like that. And then I've got this piece here that's just fits inside. That fits on there. Little flat washer, and let's draw this down. Kind of center everything up here. Okay. Okay. So now I just have to pull it in the rest of the way. Feel it giving and going in. Almost there. Just about out. Pilot room there. All right. Yeah, take it off and see how close we are. Pieces comes out. And so we can see as you can see in there. There you go. Turn this around and see if it's all the way seated. It looks like it is. It might go just another maybe 10-15 thousandths at the most. So I'll put this back in here. You're right up flush. That's just flush, and that's sweet. So I'll just need a little. It's too big. There we go. That'll do it. We'll just Insert this tool in the back. And put this tool here. And that don't make any difference, I guess. Right there. So, washer isn't making contact. Yeah, I felt it move a little more. Yeah, a little more. A little more. There we are. Okay. Now we're seated. Yeah, we still got clearance there. Okay. So, swing it around. And you can see up inside here, laying out the beam, we're seated all the way in there, which looks good. Okay, and then there's a seal has to go in this outer opening. So that would go in next because our last, before we put the axle itself in. So bring it around on this side. Turn the lights back on. There we go. And there you go. So, kind of see that. All right, so now the next part, let me go get it. Now, the piece that goes in next is this little collar here. It was kind of rusty on the inside, so I cleaned up and painted it, but this just slides in like so. And then there's one more bearing that goes in here. Let's see if I got that bearing. Got this bearing here, which goes in next. I'm not going to press it in because I want to put the axle in, and then this will slide over, and then there'll be a nut, and you'll pull it in. And then after that's installed, then there's this piece here, which has the outer seal on it, and this threads on to the, so that just threads on there like that, and then the hub, this hub fits in here. There's this, fits the seal here, and that fits on there, and then the axle comes all the way out here, and then there's a big nut, and then there's a key. The key goes in here for that. So that, oops, sorry, didn't mean to jerk the camera. But that's basically the process of reassembly, and this would be the first thing to come off when you're taking it apart, and then the axle goes in or out that way, and then the brake backing plate bolts onto here. So you have to put that on before you can put this on. But that's it. It's not very complicated. And so I'll bring you along when we get ready. I'm waiting on Waiting on the seals. I had to get those from McMaster Car. Waiting on that one seal on the other side there, and then I think we've pretty much got it. Hopefully we've got everything.